Hello everybody, Minecraft Snapshot 24W40A has come out, and basically in it is everything that was announced at Minecraft Live. Now to quickly explain everything, because this is supposed to be a very fast video to get you all your news very quickly, and Minecraft Snapshot is essentially just a beta. And the naming scheme is 24W40A, so 24 stands for the year, so if it was 2025 it would be 25, 2026 it would be 26, and so on and so forth. W stands for week, 40 is the week number, and then A is correspondent to the number of snapshots that week. So in this case, it is the first snapshot because it is A. If it were B, it would be 2. With all that said, snapshots usually come out on Wednesdays, and occasionally there's an emergency snapshot that comes out a little bit later. However, that doesn't always happen, so just expect it to always be A at the end. If it's B, it's probably some bug fixes. So this is all in experimental features, which means it is not in the official snapshots, which probably means usually it's not the next major drop. In this case, drops are the new update scheme that Mojang is going to. It's not like major updates like 1.21 or 1.19 or way back to 1.18 even. It's not like any of those. This is a kind of like a smaller thing. It's very similar to the Armored Paws updates when they added armadillos and wolf armor. So if you're wanting access to all these features, make sure to download the new snapshot, turn on the experimental features, which in this case it is marked winter drop. So that kind of leads to my theory here. This update will probably come out around Christmas time if I had to guess. So keep your eyes open for more announcements regarding that. Now let's go ahead and cover what's in this update, because there's quite a lot to go over and I want to make this video as fast as possible for you so you don't have to take as much time out of your day. So in this update, there's the pale garden biome, pale oak trees, pale moss block, pale moss carpet, pale hanging moss, and the pale oak wood set. Along with that is also the creaking mob, the creaking spawn egg, and the creaking heart block. Now, don't make the same mistake as me. I keep calling it the creaker because creaker, oh man, but it is called the creaking. So in the pale garden, there is going to be the new tree, which is the pale oak tree. There's also going to be the pale moss blocks and carpet that generate naturally on the ground. They're very similar to like the lush cave biome. There's also the pale hanging moss, which generates naturally on the foliage of pale oak. So off the leaves, it'll generate these pale moss. And off that pale moss, you can bone meal it to get more of, but it doesn't just grow naturally. So if you want to farm it, you need to bring some bone. Normal animal mobs do not spawn there naturally. So if you need to get in there, bring lots of food. Make sure to stay stocked up. There's some new biome-specific ambient sounds, and the Creaking Heart block can generate within these pale oak trees. So let's go ahead and talk about the tree a little bit here, because it's kind of one of the more interesting features in my opinion. So pale oak leaves drop the pale oak saplings, and they can be planted in a 2x2 configuration to grow more pale oak trees. It's very similar to a dark oak tree, but white. The logs can be crafted into the whole pale oak wood set, which includes doors, fences, fence gates, planks, signs, hanging signs, slabs, stairs, trapdoors, wood, stripped logs, stripped wood, buttons, pressure plates, boats, and boats with chests. That's 16 items, I think, if I counted it correctly. The pale moss block generates naturally, and I believe you can bone meal it just like you would normal moss. Same thing with the carpet. Now the carpet has some unique features with it, where if you place it next to a solid block, it can go up 2 blocks and extend its texture a little bit to kind of make it look a little bit more overgrown. It's very interesting. You can also bone meal the carpet to make it grow a little bit more onto the sides of the blocks as well. It kind of reminds me of lichen. So let's go ahead and talk about the creaking, because this is one of the more interesting features of this update. By default, the creaking mob only spawns at night in the pale garden biome if there's a creaking heart next to it. Those creaking hearts generate in the pale oak tree. So some things about the creaking that you need to know. It is invulnerable to damage. It only moves if you're not looking at it. So think about like weeping angels. It's kind of like that. When you hit it, a particle trail will be visible between the creaking and the creaking heart that it's connected to. When you break that creaking heart, it destroys the creaking. That's the only way to kill these guys. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to track the stats on this, if it's going to count as a kill on the creaking, or if it's just about how many creaking hearts you break. One thing to note, if you are wearing a pumpkin on your head, and you look at a creaking, it will still move, it will still try to kill you, so don't wear a pumpkin on your head. I never thought I'd have to tell people to not wear a pumpkin on their head now I'm thinking about it. That's a new one. So let's go ahead and talk about the Creaking Heart a little bit here. The Creaking Heart is a block that you can actually pick up with Silk Touch, and you can take it with you to other places. And let's say you wanted to summon a Creaking with it, you can. You just have to place it between 2 pale oak log blocks that are correctly lined up. It's only active during the day, it's dormant during the night, and again, it will summon a Creaking. If you hit the Creaking, it'll show you the particle trail there. So you can use this to kind of troll your friends a little bit. It's kind of fun. There's a new system for ambient sounds in the Pale Garden. So these are tied to blocks within the biome rather than biome sounds. So be aware that this isn't going to be controlled by ambience. If you try to turn that all the way off, you need to actually turn off block sounds. So pale hanging moss will emit a subtle atmospheric sound when attached to pale oak logs and pale oak leaves. You can probably hear it right now. And then the Creaking Heart block emits a set of eerie sounds when it is active during night and surrounded by logs on all sides. You can probably hear it right now. That's all the big features here. There is one other thing that I feel like might be somewhat important for you guys to know about, which is that there's a new accessibility option to make targeted blocks outlines more visible. You can see that on screen right now. If you like that, be sure to turn it on. It'll make your gameplay a whole lot better. Of course, as always with these updates, there is a bunch of bugs being fixed, so if you reported a bug, be sure to check out the changelog. It's linked in the description right underneath the like and subscribe button, which, speaking of subscribing, you should do if you want to keep up to date with all the newest Minecraft news and features, because I make these videos as often as news comes out. Along with this, please put your comments down below about any questions you might have about this update, because there is a lot of features, and I can't go over everything in every video, so if you have a question, I'll be glad to take a look at it, and I might even make a whole video just about that alone. Regardless of that all, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'll catch you guys next time. Goodbye, everybody.